One. Okay, welcome to No Scurvy here. I'm Alex.
And my name is Bud Franklin from Memphis, Tennessee.
Otherwise known as Ben. And we're pumped. What are
So,
we talking about, Ben?
we are here to discuss organizational systems,
What could be
the
more exciting?
bedrock of any successful life.
Okay.
You could be successful without an organizational system.
Hmm.
However, that's got to be much more stressful.
Exactly. I mean, hey, being unorganized is being chaotic, and not having your mind in order is a very uncomfortable place to be. So,
Yes.
what made you think of this? Because I
I've
didn't
been-
know I didn't know we were going to talk about this. That's kind of our goal here. Is just to kind of. I think we've decided we just kind of want to just put ideas out there and see how the other person responds. So,
Yeah.
what made you think of organizational skills this week?
So I've been really focusing on improving my process, my organizational system as much as possible recently.
Yeah.
And I have added, I have somewhat of a three-part system.
Okay.
So first and foremost, my calendar on my iPhone. That is my to-do list. So every day, I have to accomplish everything that is on that calendar on that day. I also add on that calendar physical things that have to be accomplished, like meditating for 5 minutes every day,
Yeah.
or going to the gym on specific days that I set ahead. And of course, I put personal obligations on there as well, and events. So everything on the calendar has to be accomplished on that day. The key with that is not putting too many things on the calendar. So it's knowing yourself enough to know your workload. Second thing, inbox zero. I generally practice a inbox zero mindset. So having my Gmail inbox with as few things in the inbox as possible. The calendar being the priority over email. So the morning starts accomplishing the calendar, not accomplishing emails. Emails are secondary. Then I have a folder-based system for major projects. So major projects in file folders. I try to keep my major projects at a max. I try to keep it at 3 major projects at a time. 3 major projects. If I go above 3, I know that I should delegate one away or try to eliminate it. Just give up on it. Because I think too many major projects can overwhelm us. So when you're looking at your major project list, I think it's important to say to ourselves, how can I either make this go faster? How can I eliminate this? So that you can move on to the next major project. That is my organizational system in a nutshell. The 3 major parts to this system. And then I do use a bit of a dump email folder for things that I know I'm not going to get to for a while. And I put them in that dump email folder, especially when I'm traveling or really heads down. That is my system.
Can I ask you a few questions about this?
Hit it.
All right, cool. So this is sounds to me like a pretty kind of advanced organizational system that you're probably very, very effective with. I mean, you're a business leader. You're running a couple of companies. You're delegating. You got a lot of people working for you. You got a lot of tasks. People are always calling you up and emailing you with different projects that they want your opinion on. So you have to have a bulletproof organizational system. You just kind of outlined the core. There's a lot more that goes into it. A waterfall of details essentially, but those are your kind of your core organizational principles.
Right.
So my first question for you is, was there a particular time in your life that you remember where you realized you needed to up your organizational game and you started developing some of these kind of basic principles, like earlier in your life?
Right when you and I started into working together in the real world.
Yeah.
That's when I started having a system. Prior to that, I had no system. In college, I think I had a calendar that I used for tracking projects, but it was not that good. Once you and I got in the working world, that's when I started having I needed to have a disciplined system in place. Because it doesn't matter what system you have, you just have to be very disciplined with it, so that things do not fall through the cracks. Because little detail matters. What about your system, and when did you start yours?
I would say my system is very, very similar to yours in the most important aspects. So I don't know if like these small detailed differences are important enough to go into, but suffice it to say, I am very focused. One might even say compulsive about like organizational details.
Yeah.
And kind of the same thing. Like once, early after college, because I was a mess in college, but after college, getting into the workforce, starting to work with you, and becoming a salesperson and having to track, hundreds and after a certain point, like thousands of sales leads.
Yeah.
And we didn't have, complex customer CRM, relations or like sales management software. Kind of I started organizing everything by my calendar. I didn't even necessarily have like a list agenda. I would just have items, things that I needed to do on my calendar for specific dates, like you just mentioned, but also even like contacts and sales leads and everything was all kind of on my calendar, in different places, and I would just move it around depending on when I needed to do something. Yeah. I still largely do that today, and it works very well.
Yeah.
But I have noticed, on the flip side, I run into people, I work with people sometimes that are, perhaps not as organizationally effective. And I don't, everybody's got a different system. Some people kind of rely on the old, hopefully I remember it kind of to-do list.
Doesn't work for me.
And if you have an amazing brain, maybe that works. Like for me, I'm an absent-minded professor. It's like no matter how hard I try, it's in one ear, out the other. And if I don't write it down, if I don't schedule it, write it down, detail it, I'm going to be letting someone down or letting myself down.
Oh yeah.
So people like you and I need to develop these, One other question I had for you, because I have a very limited professional experience. I've worked for the same company with you since I graduated from college for, 12, 13 years now.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's like to work at, it's a family-run business, of course, on the smaller side. So this isn't a big, corporation with, complex systems per se. I do wonder, what some of these, I never really asked people about this organizational thing. Like, do bigger companies kind of train people on this organizational stuff or not?
I don't know.
If you would even have any insight on that.
I have no idea. We do have a Inbox Zero training module in the property company.
Okay.
So,
training module?
Yeah. Everybody has to be trained. Everybody who uses email right when they start is given a training doc and a training on how to use Inbox Zero properly. Okay. Sounds very simple, but that is an actual thing that I implemented in the property. So yes, I would imagine companies do have training around organization. I would imagine that is the case. Maybe not. I mean, maybe not. Who knows?
Well, at St. Pauli as well, you helped me kind of develop better, organizational training for the people I manage, in the sales department, I guess. With having that sales management spreadsheets and different things that I can track carefully and train. So that's been an improvement over the past, 2 or 3 years, having more detailed info on that. But that's not necessarily a company-wide thing.
A lot of that's you. Yeah. Well, yeah, fair. Hey, do you think we should? What else do you have on this topic?
Nothing.
Stay organized.